Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. How are you doing? Did you have a good weekend? I didn't ask you yesterday because I was interviewing Cirilla, you know, the whole raid interview, Hydra clan boss, stuff coming, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't check in with you guys, and that's most important. So how you guys doing? Let me know in the comments below if you did something fun over the weekend. I did. I went to like this little kind of mom and pop theme park, Christmas theme park. Is it too early for Christmas for you guys? Is it too early for the holidays? For me, normally it's way too early. But this year, I don't know what got into me, man. It is weird. But I went to Disney a couple weeks ago with the kid, and this is crazy to say, but he had more fun, I think, in the mom and pop local place than at Disney World. Isn't that weird? You ever have something in life feel like that, where you're just like, some big extravagant thing happens, and then something small happens, but you're like, oh, I kind of like that thing small a little bit better. That was my son with what we did at Disney and with the other thing. Either way, guys, it was a blast. He had just the time of his life because he could ride with me in all the rides. He was tall enough, and I was not too big, I guess. I was short enough. I'm not short, but whatever.
I'm the cool dad. That's my thing. Like text, LOL. Laugh out loud, OMG, oh my god, WTF, why the face?
Today I want to talk about 7 champions, let's see, 4 legendary, 5, 6, 7, 3 epics that have an ability that I think is the most unique in the game, and it's something that everybody should have at least one of these champions, and that is the ability to remove all buffs from the enemy team. Do you have that ability? Is there a buff or a debuff or just an ability that any champion can have inside Raid that you guys value extremely highly? Because this, for me, this is it. And as I said, only 7 champions can do this, with a couple, you know, caveats, which I will get to right now. Actually, before I get to that, let's just think about how helpful this ability can be to your progression and, more importantly, your time. Your time. I asked Cirilla about the time issue in the game. I don't think you guys were super happy based on the comments with her response, but I asked, you know. She did say that they plan on adding kind of time-saving mechanics in the future with keys, kind of like super raids.
It's great that you mentioned super raids because they are one of the means that we have already released as a part of this big program in reducing the time for players that you need to spend on the game if you want to work with all the possible content.
So you can use more keys per battle against Doom Tower bosses and also against or for faction wars. So I'm excited about that. I still think there needs to be more, but anyway, saving time is massive. And what saves you more time than having somebody on your Doom Tower waves, somebody on your faction wars, or somebody on your arena team that can remove all those annoying buffs that makes everything take longer inside this game. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes that, right? No one likes spending extra time going into more man-eaters, needlessly spamming your abilities and wasting your skills on cooldown against, you know, unkillable buffs. No one likes that.
Hey, what's going on?
But having a really solid, reliable 100% AoE buff remover is going to be quintessential for saving your time and helping you progress in this game. I know I love it. Hopefully you guys do too. So listen, mostly just legendaries and a couple really hard to get epics, Void and Doom Tower, that have this ability. So I want to give you free-to-play players or new players to the game before we jump into it. I want to give you a free-to-play option, and it is Banshee, who's actually pretty decent for a rare champion, right? Banshee has decreased defense on her A1. On her A2, attack all enemies, 65% chance of removing 1 random buff from each target. So it's only 1 buff, it's not all buffs, and it's only 65% chance. So certainly not really fitting the bill in terms of what we're looking for here, but it's on a 2-turn cooldown. Not too bad, right? For a rare champion, 2-turn cooldown, removing 1 buff, 65% chance on all enemies. So you can do it every other turn. You know, you can use block active skills and then go right back into the Curse Touch again. So it's a nice option for you guys. Also, a couple champions who, if you don't have the other ones, they can get the job done. Hope has it on her A3. It's on a 3-turn cooldown, only 75% chance. And same thing with, what's-her-face here, Chancellor Yasmin. She has it on her A3 as well, on a 4-turn cooldown when booked, and again, only 75% chance. The thing is, we really want 100% chance on this specific ability. I mean, mean, you don't want, all it takes is one stupid man-eater, right, to have that unkillable and still not saving you time, right? So we really want all enemies to get removed, all those buffs to get removed, right? So anyway, there's a couple others too. I'm not going to include, just FYI, before you guys let me have it in the comments, Venus has this companion ability with Cupidus. But listen, how many of you guys have Venus and Cupidus on the same team? I'm not going to include her, but if you do have them both, you remove all buffs from all enemies and a 50% chance of granting an extra turn off of Venus there. However, back to reality here. Let's talk about these champions and talk about why I like them so much. So Dark Elves is kind of a new champion. Ryan the Conjurer, she's the 3rd Doom Tower Secret Room champion that you unlock in the normal difficulty. If you guys are curious about the Doom Tower champions that you do,
destroy them with lasers.
here they are right here. Thanks to Ayumi Love. We have Archmage Helmet, Akoth the Seared, Ryan the Conjurer, Dark Kale, Gwyneth Taya, and then we have Thea the Tomb Angel, Uros the Soul Cage, we have Gomlock Skyhide, Basata, Varl Destroyer, and Vassal the Seal. I am very, very close to unlocking my 4th Doom Tower Hard champion, so I'm excited about that. I don't know if I should do a guide though, because it's going to take 99.9% of people a long time to unlock those champions. Anyway, we have block buffs on the A1, which is nice to have. Synergizes well with our kit. And then Ryan is kind of like a mini Madame Ceres a little bit, right? We're removing all buffs from all enemies instead of replacing all those buffs with a decreased defense and a decreased attack like Madame Ceres on her Midnight Ritual. This is on a 3-turn, not a 4-turn cooldown, and we're placing a weaken instead. So a weaken and removing all buffs, 100% on an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown, perfect. You can use, especially if you have Ryan, but you don't have Madame Ceres, which probably is not a lot of people, but if you're one of them, and you do unlock Ryan, you don't have Madame, use Ryan in the arena, man. She's really good in the arena for that use case. She also has a revival as well, synergizes with a couple other Doom Tower champions as well. Okay, next up is going to be, well, we're right here, right? Madame Ceres. Madame Ceres, I mean, I don't need to tell you guys how good she is. She's a beast. Removes all buffs from all enemies, decrease attack, decrease defense for 2 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. However, she does have a chance of stealing buffs as well on her Trick and Treats ability on a 3-turn cooldown. So that's a pretty nasty kit, nasty synergy between those 2 abilities. I mean, if you have a buff and you're contending with Madame Ceres, you better watch your back. You better watch your back. She's gonna steal it or remove it. She is who I use as my buff remover in, let me just see that, yeah, her in 1 legendary. Speaking of legendaries, let's move on. Actually, let's stay right here in Dark Elves. So we have Ray. Apparently a lot of Dark Elf buff removers, huh? Ray's a pretty good champion, man. She's a legacy and old school champion. She's an AoE on every single ability, and she removes all buffs on a 6-turn cooldown, but it hits hard too. Removes, attacks all enemies, removes all buffs, and then has a 70% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Man, Banish is a nasty ability. It's too long of a cooldown to rely on Ray to be your go-to buff remover, in my opinion. But if you don't have any of these other champions, she's definitely better off with Ray than you are with, Banshee. No offense, Banshee. So Ray, very, very good champion. I need to use Ray a little bit more. You guys ever had that experience with a champion that you're like, you know what? I have her. She's really good, but I don't use her enough. And that's how I feel about Ray. Anyway, so Ray's really, really incredible. Are there any other Dark Elves before I move on here? No, there's not. Let's go to Bannerlords here. Talk about the one that I don't have. And boy, I wish I did. Sathalia, I opened a 10 times event, or I've opened some shards on a 10 times event, and hoping to get my hands on her. And I did not, but she is probably definitely my most wanted non-void legendary in the game. I think I can say that with confidence, man. Anybody have Sathalia? I'll trade you a dupe Siphi for a Sathalia. Anyone want to make that trade?
Trade's coming to the game soon.
No, it's not really going to come to the game. All right, HP burn on the A1, awesome. Removes all debuffs from a target ally, then places a block debuffs, and then heals them by 75%. Heals all other allies as well on a 2-turn cooldown. That's insane. But where's the buff? Oh, it gets even better. 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies, then decreases turn meter of all enemies by 10%, then fills turn meters of all allies by 10%, decreases turn meters by 20%, and fills their if 5 or more buffs are removed. You like how I just ramble through that? That was cool. 3-turn cooldown, Aggress is gotta be one of the most insane abilities in the game, man. I really want her, and look at the speed. 108 speed as well. Ideally, you're going to have your buff remover go before your nuker, obviously, right? Even better with a Madame Ceres because you can apply your debuffs and remove the buffs all in one shot. But either way, having fast buff removers is really important. So I always look at that speed. I look at that speed on any champion, but that base speed, it took me a while. Probably took me about 6 months of playing this game before I really started to value the base stats properly of champions, specifically their speed. Demon Spawn, this is the guy that I use. Kymar is my main man, right? Kymar, I use him in all my Doom Tower. I use him in the arena as my buff remover. We talk about Seal of Magic with Kymar. Awesome ability, obviously unique ability. Resets the cooldown of all ally skills, turn meter boost as well. But really, this Abyssal Gaze is nasty, guys. He has AoE poison on his A1, but an AoE attack does decent damage for a support champion, and then places sleep on everybody, which is great for the arena. So you see the enemy team, you don't have to worry about speed of whoever's going after him, and then removes all buffs. Perfect, perfect. So removing buffs, and look at this, Aura, man, speed in arena battles by 30%. Dude, Kymar is a beast. All right, so we have Prince Kymar, we have Ray, we have Sathalia. That means only one champion left. Now, there's a lot of champions who remove maybe one buff or a couple buffs, like Gurgo the Augur, for example. But again, I'm looking for someone who's going to remove it all. Removes 2 random buffs from all enemies, 100% chance granting a freeze, grants an extra turn. Yeah, Bone Chiller is a pretty insane ability. I almost have to mention Gurgo the Augur because 2 buffs is not bad. Sometimes that's all you need, and it is 100% chance along with the freeze as well. Really, really nasty ability. But the other champion that does it every time, not Undead Horde Ash, it is a not Skinwalker Ash, it's a Lizard Man. I don't have him yet. I'm such a slacker. I'm probably never going to finish this freaking campaign in this game. Not campaign, the quest or whatever the heck it's called. Ramen 2 Drake's Blood. So the word on the street on Ramen 2 is a little bit underwhelming to be the final champion of this game. What do you guys think of this champion? Do you agree with that sentiment or do you disagree? I don't have him, so I can't speak to it, but I don't know. We'll see when I get him in 5 years. Attacks all enemies, has a 100% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies before attacking. 3-turn cooldown, places block active skills for 2 turns on enemy without passive, and block passive skills for 2 turns on enemy with passive skills. Dude, pretty insane ability, is it not? I don't know, man. I think they're being too hard on this guy. How can he be bad with an ability like that? And then he has whenever an enemy places stun, freeze, blah, 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 debuff on the champion will instantly fill this champion's turn by 30%, increase speed, shield. Not bad, not bad. Then the A2 attacks one enemy 4 times with all of these debuffs. Decrease defense, weaken, decrease speed, block debuffs, true fear on 3-turn cooldown. And then, well, all of this junk on the A1. So guys, let me know, are you in the same camp as me? Do you think that these buff removers are essential for everybody to have at least one on their team? Or am I overrating the remove buffs? You guys just deal with it anyway. By the way, I lied. There's one more champion I need to talk about today. And it is Seer. There are actually 3 epic champions. Seer is number 7, the 7th champion that does this at 100% rate. There's only one downside. She's also removing all of your team's buffs. That's the only downside, right? So she's removing all of your team's buffs and all of the enemy's team's buffs, provided she has enough accuracy. And then wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. She just kills everybody. She kills. You know what? Just to end the video, guys, just to end the video in style, let's run a quick Seer Dungeon 25 team. Let's just see her melt everybody away. Here, is this gonna do the trick? I think this will do the, no. I want more buffs. Yeah, I think we'll do the trick. It should, otherwise why am I running this team, right? Let's see. Let's see Seer melt away not only the enemy's team's buff, they're not gonna have any, but all my buffs. Boom! Woo-wee! Seer is, there's really no champion in this game that affects how long things take more than Seer in a good way for the player, right? Anyway, she's one of my favorite champions in the game just because of how much time she saved me. All right, guys, we're gonna end it there. No longer to prolong this video any more than it needs to. Which of these 7 champions are you a fan of? Do you have any of them? If so, who is your go-to? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, guys.